your coverage of the last year's tournament. I thought it was pretty awesome, and it inspired me to get involved for this year's tournaments.
I am
Shout out
so
to
happy
you.
to hear that. That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I was super glad to see that you was actually the streamer for our game. And so my goal this game has been to not look like a fool, at least to you.
None of you look like fools. I mean, I know how difficult these competitive games are. I've done a couple similar things myself, plus also the Paradox ones. So, yeah, you guys are awesome. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, this is my first time doing a competitive.
I did have one question for you, though. When Portugal declared war, was that expected, or did that take you by surprise?
No, it was 1,000% expected.
Because when they did it, I saw you had no troops in Spain. I was like, uh-oh?
Yeah, that was so that they would declare war on, so that as fast as possible.
Right. So did you have your troops in the training queue?
I think there's a they have a percentage chance to back down from the ultimatum that they're going to send you if you have. That they declare war on me as fast as possible. Just
just going to turn you up very slightly. You're a little hot to hear. Okay.
I apologize.
That's all good.
I've had allergies for the past few days, so. Anyways, I think that there's a percentage chance that Portugal won't declare war on you as Spain. If you have troops on their border, they'll back down. At least that's something that I heard from somewhere. So I kept all my troops off the border, and then as soon as they declared, I blitzed.
Gotcha. So were your troops, where were they? Were they in the training queue or in, like, France?
No. They was just in other places in Spain.
Could have sworn I checked Spain. I didn't see anyone there. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no, they was just, not bordering Portugal on purpose. And then I just slammed everything in. Yeah.
Gotcha. So how do you think things are going for you and your team at the moment?
We're looking pretty strong. You guys have a pretty interesting opening couple of months into the war, I think. And just keep your eyes open. It's going to be a slugfest. CoPro's super strong. Entente's super strong. So it's really going to be... And not to mention the Reichspakt is super strong as well. Bulgaria already consolidated the Suez. So it's going to be a slugfest for sure.
Yeah, I do kind of suspect that CoPro and Entente will keep each other busy, or at least I'm hoping they will, which means it's going to be you guys versus the Reichspakt, basically.
Yeah, I think so as well. But if we can get the Reichspakt knocked out pretty quick, then we can help against the Entente, because I think the Entente's the guys to beat.
Yes, I would agree. There's a lot of familiar names for me from last session.
Pretty quick. Yeah.
So I know that they're veterans.
I just wanted to come up here and give you a shout out and say thank you for getting me involved in this.
Hey, I appreciate that. I really do, so thank you.
No problem, bud. Take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy and have a good game. Okay, so that was... I know it had Necron in the name. Where's the player? If there it is. I'm on Necron, that's it. Coming in for the Spanish. And I know that there were a couple of queries, and also my own questions, of course, about the Portugal situation, so I thought it was pretty important that we get that one asked and work out what's going on. Okay, so here we go. Italy is now attacking into the Papal States. This is something I had been expecting them to do for a while. I'm a little bit surprised it's happening now, but then again, I don't remember exactly when this usually happens. I feel like the unification of Italy is earlier, because they're leaving this very late. And also, between sessions, while I was grabbing my Doritos, I did double-check the rules, and coming to France and Germany cannot go to war until June 39. So there is actually an additional 6 months peacetime. So if they can beat Two Sicilies and Rome in that time, then that would be pretty good for them. And what's happened to these guys? They are still under Italy. Okay. Hey, Marshall. Good to see you. How are you doing? I was wondering where the music came from. Yeah, so Midge warned me that the theme tune for Kaiserreich is copyright, which will cause all kinds of problems on YouTube. Thankfully, that's during my break screen, and I remembered to do it before I left the break screen, so I can easily trim that out for YouTube. But even Twitch is starting to get a bit heavier on copyright issues, so I prefer to just be careful on that, and always have done. Like, I've been expecting copyright to become an issue on Twitch for so long. Considering the lengths that YouTube goes to ensure that they comply with copyright law, the fact that Twitch has been so laissez-faire on that issue was frankly astonishing to me, and everyone that's just been playing, like, pop songs and just straight-up radio tunes was just asking for trouble. There was no way that wasn't going to come back and haunt them. Nice to see they sorted the massive land claim Bulgaria did. Yeah, I actually meant to double check to see how they did that exactly. So you do indeed only control that. Is it in your faction? No, they're not. Are they puppets? They are Bulgarian puppets. So it is still a pretty massive land grab, but it's only Anatolia proper that they've been able to take. Maybe they'll be forced to release it before the war starts. I don't know. I'm not actually sure on the rules of the Bulgarian conquest. Let's go and see if there is a paragraph on that, because the team that we were talking to at the time definitely seemed rather concerned about it. Bulgaria rules. Nothing as yet. Well, okay then. And nothing about the Ottomans, so I don't know what rule they were getting upset about. Because I don't know what that rule is. Is there something about peace? War and peace rules. Only focus wars from decisions events may be declared. May not just manually justify until 1940. Germany and Communist France cannot declare until the June 1st, 1939. You are allowed to take all possible land unless specified in the nation-specific rules, but there is nothing for Bulgaria. In a peace deal, you must not annex territory occupied by player-only foreign troops, i.e. should Third International be in Alsace and Copro capitulates Germany, then Copro may not take the French occupation. Indian nations cannot give military access, cannot give military or naval access to anyone else. Yeah, see, I don't know what the Bulgaria issue was. What rule have they broken? If someone can find that for me, that would be awesome. And if you want to have a look, you can type in !KR rules, and you will have a link to the same document that I'm currently perusing. I don't see anything about that, so I don't know what rule they broke. But that might just be me. It is possible. So, are there any other conflicts going on at the moment? We've got one in Eritrea and Ethiopia. Do we have anyone else taking sides in that? No, absolutely nobody. All of those are finished. All of those are finished. So it is literally just Italy. We are in the brief moment of peace between the entire world erupting in civil wars and the start of the Second Weltkrieg. I'm going to pour myself some tea. I might need to disappear to go and grab myself a refresh on the tea in probably half an hour or so. The kettle's boiling, but I still had some left in the pot. Maybe it was something about how they fought? No, I don't think so. I think it was literally just about the fact that you can't take the entirety of the Ottoman Empire, because that is a huge amount of territory. But also, you did just beat them. Feels very right that Marshall showed up just before the war broke out. Perfect timing. Yeah, I'm doing well. How's this year's tournament going? It's good so far. Each of the factions has done things which impress me and make them look really quite strong. I would say at the moment, my favourite would probably be Co-Prosperity Sphere. I think they've done a very good job uniting all of their various territories. I think that the sheer experience on the Entente side is going to make them a really big factor. I'm fully expecting Co-Pro and Entente to go at it for the Pacific Islands. The interesting facet here will be the deal between Co-Pro and Reichspakt. If that deal holds out, and is what I suspect it is, which is basically Russia doesn't attack them, so that they can deal with Third Internationale, then I think they'll be in a pretty good position. Because Germany was given so much extra territory and so many more industries as part of this scenario and for balance purposes, I think that Germany, that's not dealing with Russia at the same time, is going to be able to do pretty significant amount of damage to France, but they're going to need to take that advantage early. The longer this war goes on, the more it favours the Third Internationale, which is interesting because ordinarily it's the Third Internationale that wants the war over quickly, because Germany is a bit of a sleeping bear. Early on, they have a lot of industry that isn't necessarily in a position to be used, but as the years go by, their industry basically awakens, and they have a lot more of it than the Third Internationale does. Although that has been significantly changed with the emergence of Russia, which is why I really want this Russia rework, which will hopefully break them up and make them have similar civil wars to what China has, and basically make them less of a factor for longer. Oh yeah, I forgot that Germany was at war with the Dutch as well, and looks like this is just a war of experience. The Dutch don't have a huge number of troops here. The French have brought in a couple. I'm not seeing any English. Spanish, British, and French. There's the British ones, and there's the Spanish one. Okay, so they're not actually actively on the front line right now. And Germany is hitting here with 20 divisions, well, 12 divisions, but they have 20 there total. And there we go, yeah, they stopped the offensive. So they are indeed just doing this for the experience. And on that note, how much do Germany have? 244. France have 100. But I'm not allowed to look at the templates yet, so I can't tell you how that is looking. Why should you never make a dwarf and blacksmith mad? Because they tend to be short-tempered. That's funny on multiple fronts. I like it. Okay, so German East Asia, the hero of this game so far, has heroically survived. It's just moving their troops out a little bit. Interlindia's doing their thing. There are Dutch troops still in Interlindia. We have Dutch troops facing off. Oh, of course, the Dutch will be at war with German East Asia. So GA may well be moving troops over here to try and take out the rest of the Batavian commune in Papua New Guinea. Oops, shouldn't be looking at attack, sorry. And the attacks are happening once again, and this time... no, they haven't done anything else. United States declared war on Puerto Rico. They want to establish their 51st state. Or their first vassal. We are seeing a couple of German tanks here. 10 of them to be precise. They have the light tank icon, and they are woefully under-equipped. So I'm imagining that those are tanks that Germany is slowly switching into, say, heavies. They have a lot of army experience. They could certainly do that. It just depends on whether they have the industry to flip it over. Meanwhile, Rome has very decisively fallen to the Italians. The Italians are now pushing down into the Two Sicilies, which is another nation which is just a lot of fun. I really like the Two Sicilies. League of 8 Provinces and Two Sicilies, both great. Mostly because Two Sicilies can play basically in any direction. And they have a big fleet, and they have lots of shipbuilding potential. They probably have the biggest shipbuilding potential in the game for a nation of their size. Where is Austria on their focus to unite the Empire? That is a good question. I always happen to be in the countries as they die. Right, so your stuff is down here. They are just doing a federation of equals. Hungary will probably get reintegrated. Oh no, Greater Austria. Oh no, Puerto Rico has fallen to the Americans. I believe the Bulgarian rule break was because you can only annex states that you occupied in the war, and the Ottomans capitulate before you can take the Middle East. The region needed to become a puppet. I'm not sure, though. This is just my best guess. Maybe? But then why can you puppet them? Surely you should just have to release them. Like, make them into a puppet and then release, or just liberate. Yeah, knowing so little about the actual Austrian focus tree, I don't know exactly what this outcome will mean. It looks like it's going to be Austria-Hungary. United States of Greater Austria. Which suggests it's just Austria. What are they going to... Oh no, there it goes. Okay. That's what the United States of Greater Austria is. And then, yes, they can reintegrate Hungary. And then become Austria-Hungary again. Cool. I understand. So much for the multiple different identities for all of the sovereign nations in that area. Cool, Austria. Now I see your greed for what it is. Greed. Huzzah! Innkeeper! Thosquoth the Innkeeper, thank you very much for the 36-month resubscription. That is the second 36-monther today. Congratulations on earning those pink wings. 3 years. Huzzah. 3 years indeed. That has been a while. Should the commentator's curse, should Mordred be spectating you during a war, you will surely capitulate. Oh, no, the Germans have finally started to push through. It is March. They got 3 months before hostilities with the Commune of France can begin, and I'm guessing that they want to have taken the Dutch out before then so that they can full annex, as opposed to have the Dutch joining Third Internationale and then requiring German occupation, which could be expensive. Although at the moment they don't seem that interested in pushing in. Let's go and see this from the Dutch perspective. So we do have German Marines attacking across the straits up there in the north. Eindhoven has been surrounded and its last garrisons being destroyed. There are Spanish troops holding on to Utrecht, French troops in The Hague, British troops down in Middelburg. Said this, I believe, 4 times now, but I do recommend you giving Scandinavia a go now after the last flavour update. Once Denmark, Norway, Sweden fuses together, they get a fleet of about 110 ships. Oh, interesting. Austria gets a lot more industry from the Federalist path. Yeah, It's basically the same as what Midge and I did with Yugoslavia. Same process. Each of those nations then has their own independent industry focus tree, which they then go down their industry. You get more industry out of them. So Rotterdam is holding out. Utrecht looks like it's about to fall. Those Spaniards not standing a chance against the 20 divisions that Germany is currently throwing. Meanwhile, Nord-Holland has fallen, and they are currently pushing into Amsterdam. And it does look like Amsterdam will have fallen, possibly before the end of the month. Likewise with Middelburg, we have more Dutch troops being thrown into Utrecht. The French and the Brits not seeming to be particularly interested in getting involved. They're just going to sit there in The Hague. Meanwhile, Amsterdam has now fallen. And at midnight tonight, we may see a capitulation. No. But it's okay. The Dutch have their oil processing. So I'm guessing they have to... yeah, take The Hague out. They inflicted 59,000 casualties for a loss of 89,000. That's actually pretty decent. What happened to the SRI? They must have formed the Italian Republic, surely. No? Did they seriously just lose? Because the player's not here. And two Sicilies has joined the Entente. Which means the Entente is a back way into Europe now. Interesting. That's a big blow for Third International. That's going to be excellent for the Reichspakt. If their deal with CoPro holds. It's going to be all about whether that deal holds with CoPro. And there we go. Austria is starting to work on the integration of Hungary. And then they get the looking outwards, which is support, war support and stability. Alright then. Meanwhile, the attack on The Hague is now ongoing. And they're going to have to break through a lot of soldiers. And as they lose organisation, they just die. So the volunteers probably want to start sending their troops home. Because I just saw one of the British soldiers die. There goes the second one. I don't think they're sailing away. Nope. So the nations that have volunteers here want to be kind of careful. France might be hoping that they can hold on to The Hague until June. Only 2.5 months away. Pinkwings, that's how Benedict Cumberbatch says penguin. If you haven't seen the video where he can't get it right, saying it again and again. Yes, the Natural World series or something like that. Penguin. International is going to be on the back foot without Italy to slow the Austrians down. Yeah, absolutely. It somewhat depends on whether Italy goes and gets the Republic of Italy back again, because that's going to open up another front over the Alps. Or they could just leave them neutral, in which case the only front is the German-French front. SRI can have an event where the national populists take over and become the Kingdom of Sicily. But they're not the Kingdom of Sicily. It's the Italian Republic. I think that the earlier conjecture where the Italian Republic basically just came in around the back and they left no troops in the capital is probably right. Okay, so the Spanish unit is dead. The French are desperately trying to hold out. And they are in the fight at the moment. They are taking the damage. So how much damage was inflicted in the end? 65,000 to 181,000. Okay. Not quite such good odds. And there we go. 4th of May. There's the capitulation. And that's also going to give... Did it again. Yeah, this to Germany. And that is now a very strong look in Germany. In basically the entirety of Central Europe. Northern Central Europe. Appropriate for Italy. Howling Wolf, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good to have you joining us. Switzerland. Whose side is Switzerland coming in there? The Helvetic communes. They'll probably be Third Internationale, which does expand the front line that much further. Venezuela's gone syndicalist. Interesting. Punker Octopus Repisserai. You will be missed. Yeah, it's just, it was so sudden. They were like on the absolute verge of taking out the 2 Sicilies, and then suddenly they don't exist anymore. Nope. I'm so used to just idly clicking through those. Sorry. I'm going to click on someone like Transomer so I don't do that while there is not much going on. So, chat, how are we feeling about how this war is going to go? We're at the end of May. We've got about 2 weeks before the 1st of June, which is when Germany and France can go to war. Doesn't mean that they have to, they just can. So how are we expecting things to go down? The loss of Italy is obviously a big deal. Because A, you've lost all of the Italian industry and all of the Italian manpower. But you also lose a lot of space, which is fairly difficult to get through because it's mountainous, that Austria would otherwise have to fight through to get to the frontiers of France. Does Austria have a focus to reintegrate French Republic, Italian Republic? Only if they go down the dual rule, which they have not. And they've not done status quo either. So by the looks of things, no. That's not to say that they can't declare war on it, though. And Papal State, are you in the Entente as well, or is it just 2 Sicilies? No, Papal State's also in the Entente. So the Entente has 2 Sicilies and the Papacy. And Sardinia. Italy joined Reichspakt. Well, there you go. Question answered. And suddenly there is a front line here. We're on the 4th of June. War could break out at any second. Socialist, anti-colonial, invest in Panzer factories. So neither of them are going to war immediately. But now the Italians are on the Reichspakt side. There is a potential front line down here against the Entente. Although the Entente would have to actually get there, and they don't control either Suez or Gibraltar, so that would be difficult to do. Hey, King of Pandas. Did what you could. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Is there a wee bit of lag between Mordred and chat? 2 minutes, Marshall. We're on a 2-minute time delay. So chat is now reacting to you saying it's 2 minutes, then you can basically time it on your watch and see, okay, 2 minutes, and then suddenly it's me going, yeah, it's 2 minutes. So what actually happened, King of Pandas? Because we were guessing that the Italian Republic went to war with you, though we didn't see that notification, and then just took your capital. Is that what occurred?